What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vivid Reactions, and here we are with Scary Story Animated, The Hikers. This is my first Scary Story reaction, but I was inspired to do this by Dang Matt Smith. But other than that, let's get right into it. Let me make sure my volume's up.
In the southern highlands of the Australian state of New South Wales, the Belanglo State Forest is home to an enormous area of plantation pine and native forestry. It's free to access for all and is popular for four-wheel driving, trail bike riding, and forest camping. In December 1989, two American tourists set off into the forest with the intention to spend several days hiking and camping as they made their way from one side of the forest to the other. Both physically fit and experienced in hiking and orienteering, their first day was spent trekking up into the hills to gain a solid viewpoint from which to survey the land around them. From one of the highest points, the view was spectacular, so the couple stopped to rest and take in the beauty of their surroundings. Whilst observing the vastness of the countryside, the man pondered how easy it would be to come lost out here, or worse, to disappear completely. As she took a drink, the woman dislodged a small rock, knocking it off the edge and sending it falling hundreds of feet into the water below. She felt a chill as she realized how easy it would be to fall off, and how slim the chances of survival would be. They thought they were completely alone. However, this changed when they realized they could hear the sound of footsteps heading up the hill behind them.
The second you hear footsteps from behind you, that's the second where you're grabbing the biggest rock that you can hold, ready to fucking toss at their head. Like, okay, which rock can I pick up? Which rock is easiest to throw? Which one will give more impact? I'm picking that up and I'm just sitting there ready to throw it until I see their face. Or if they start running, it's like, bop. Bro, if you're hearing footsteps from behind, it's either book it out of there or get ready to fight. For real though. Let's get right back to it.
And could make out the silhouette of a single person who had stopped and was just standing there.
If you see someone just standing there, just toss a rock down there, hit him in the fucking head. Make them move. Make them move. I don't know why I did that. It's just like, bro, someone's standing there watching your ass. It's kind of weird. And then you're just sitting there thinking like, bro, who the fuck is this? Who is staring at me right now, looking like they finna attack? But I would have had to have packed like a knife, probably the blade alone just that long. Be like, okay, you want to stare at me? Come get some.
Although this wasn't particularly unusual, it still didn't feel quite right, so he told his girlfriend that he thought it would be best if they kept moving. She nodded in agreement, and they set off to find it.
Nah, get the hell out of there. He's just gonna follow you around the entire place. Just leave, go home, lock your doors. You see him at your house, call the cops. Hell, for you know, there could be more of them. There could be more people ready to stalk and attack. Goddamn white people.
Area to camp for the night. As night fell over the forest, the temperature dropped quickly. Fortunately for the couple, they'd managed to set up their tent while they still had light and had set up a campfire on which they cooked their dinner. They then sat and relaxed, staring deeply into the fire as they reflected on the day that had just gone and excitedly pondered the next few days and what lay ahead. They soon retired to the tent and were asleep within minutes, thanks to the efforts of the day. The forest was at no time completely silent. There are dozens of nocturnal animals in Australia, and due to this, at night the forest comes alive with the sound of insects and marsupials. The couple felt quite comfortable and felt there were nothing particularly out of the ordinary until the man was awoken by the sound of what he thought was crying. He leaned over.
The second I hear crying in the middle of the goddamn woods is the second I book it out of there to my car. And then drive through the entire woods. Then find a man that was stalking me and run his ass over.
To his girlfriend and asked her if she could hear it too. However, she was in a deep sleep, clearly undisturbed by this unsettling sound. The man then sat up and opened the tent door ever so slightly in order to see if...
Be smart. Leave that shit. Hey bro, if you hear crying and that same day you seen a man just stalking you, bro, that's the second I book it on out of there. Like, come on. Be smart, bro. Right. I hate it. Like, in every, like, anything to do with horror, it's always the white people that go and investigate. Why can't we just be smart and fucking run?
Be able to discover where the crying was coming from. He was frozen with fear when he realized that a large man had sat down at their campsite and was the source of the sobbing. The man then leaned back to his girlfriend and whispered as quietly as he could, "There's a man outside. There's a man outside the tent." Even though he shook her, she did not stir,
Slap her!
And he realized he
Wake her
would be
up!
better off leaving her to sleep until he figured out what to do next. He lay there silently in the dark for several minutes,
Wake your ass up!
listening to the stranger talk to himself, and slowly the sobbing subsided. The man then decided that this stranger was of no threat to them, as it appeared he was either lost or homeless. Either way, he needed help, or at least someone to talk to.
Don't go outside the tent, bro.
The man then stepped out of the tent and spoke to the stranger. "Hello," he said, "are you lost?" "No," the man replied. "I just needed to sit and think for a moment. I saw that your fire was still smoldering, so I figured I would just sit here until I figured things out." "Oh," the man replied. "That's fine. What's the matter?" The man then sat down and spent the next few hours talking with the stranger. The stranger was at a crossroads in his life and appeared to be lacking the confidence to commit to the choices he had made. The man managed to convince him that any decision he makes would ultimately be the right one, and that sometimes it's better to follow your heart instead of your head. The stranger seemed re-energized by this and thanked the man for giving him the motivation he needed to continue. The night went on, so did the conversation, until the stranger decided it was time for him to leave, and so he did. The man returned to sleep in the tent and slept through, undisturbed until the next morning when he relayed the events of the night to his girlfriend. She thought that this was indeed very odd, and thought that he was making it all up, as she hadn't slept well at all due to the man's incessant snoring. The man laughed this off, and the couple went on with their hike, spending the next few days venturing deeper into the forest, followed by a few more days in the state capital, Sydney, before boarding a plane home to America. On the flight home, the man's thoughts wandered back to the unusual meeting and conversation with the strange man in the forest. His girlfriend was adamant it didn't happen, and it was indeed so bizarre he was beginning to question the reality of it himself. 4 years later, late one night in a dive bar in Chicago, the man looked up at a local news broadcast only to be shocked by what he saw. The presenter was relaying information about a serial killer who had been sentenced to jail for 7 consecutive life sentences,
Well,
one
that sucks.
for each of his victims. The report told of the dates when the victims went.
Ivan Milat, Australian, convicted of murdering 7 backpackers between 1989 to 1993. That's 4 years of murdering. And only 7 backpackers? Bro, you could have done better than that. 4 years and you only got 7? Bro, you lacking. You slacking. Heavily.
And a feeling of terror and guilt ripped through the man as he realized that the first victim would have been around the exact time he had met this stranger.
Ivan Milat is currently incarcerated in Australia's Long Bay prison, where he will die. Please support the channel. Nightmare Tales. Okay guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. And it wasn't really scary. No. I'm actually very, 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 very disappointed. It's a scary story. Was not scary whatsoever. God damn it. My phone bugged out.